Good morning, let's get this show on the road. I have just got back from my walk. I'm feeling super energetic, I'm feeling super happy. It was beautiful, it was snowy, it was cold, it was wet. Who doesn't love a little bit of a surprise in the weather in March? I can't actually believe how snowy it is. It's crazy. I knew it was gonna snow, but I didn't think it was gonna snow this much. And even on my walk, I was pretty confident that it just wasn't going to settle, but I'm looking at it now and it's settling and it's not looking like it's gonna stop. Interesting, very interesting for March. So I got home around 9:30 and then I jumped in the shower and I defrosted myself. I washed my hair, which was desperately in need of doing, and basically got changed for the day. I'm in my exercise gear because what else do I live in? Now I'm just going to make a quick bite to eat. I've actually not been eating breakfast every single day at the moment because sometimes I'm just not really that hungry. And today I'm not super hungry, but I'm a little bit peckish. You know what, I'm not actually hungry, but I feel like I could do with a little bit of energy. So I'm just gonna have something, but I actually don't really have much that I really want in the house. Everything I have at the moment is quite savory, and I'm kind of fancying something a bit sweet, but I just don't have anything. I do have some banana, so I think I'm going to toast a slice of this bread and then mash up some banana with a bit of salt and honey on it. It's such a childhood fave of mine, is mashed banana on toast. Oh, it's so good. This bread is probably not everyone's cup of tea. It's a German bread, so it's rye, you know, it's very dry. Oh, it rhymes. It's very dry, but I quite like it, and it definitely fills me up more than normal bread does. So I'm gonna toast up one of those. I just get this from Lidl. Sadly, I don't have any butter, which I feel like is the law with mashed banana on toast. It just adds that extra level of flavor, but I'm just gonna have to deal with that. So I'm gonna have banana, honey, and some salt. So let's get cracking. So it is now 10 a.m. and I want to preface this with, obviously I am self-employed, so my morning routine, although I have certain things that I do, is very flexible because I can make my own schedule, and increasingly I've been shifting a lot of my work into the evenings. Now there is 2 or 3 days a week where I have calls throughout the day, and on those days my morning routine obviously shifts a little bit earlier, but there is literally some things that I will always do regardless. Number one is that I do not sleep with my phone in my room. I leave it in here. As you saw this morning, I checked the time on my watch when I woke up, and I usually wake up around 6:30 or 7. I just naturally can hear movement outside because I live in a city, and I'll usually head out for a walk around 7:30. So from whatever time I wake up to the time that I leave for my walk, I will make myself a cup of tea because we are caffeine free. I have been on decaf now for I think 3 months. And I also don't have any decaf coffee at home, which if you know anything about me, that is the most mind-blowing thing that you'll find from this video. It's so bizarre, but I'm now a tea person in terms of herbal tea, not normal tea. So I make myself a cup of tea. I will quickly check my phone, literally just tap on the screen to make sure I've got no calls because I don't want to miss obviously any emergency calls or anything like that. Sorry, I'm kind of eating this as I go because I don't want it to get cold. But anyway, as I was saying, I will quickly check my phone, make myself a cup of tea, hop straight into bed again, have a little cuddle with Hugo, and I will read until around 7:30. So at the moment, I'm actually reading a book about North Korea, so it's a bit of a different vibe. I have read a book about North Korea in the past. I've actually read it like 3 times, called Dear Leader. It's a fantastic book. But other than that, the genres that I usually reach for are going to be more mindset and business related books, and there's definitely a few really good ones. In fact, let me just grab a few that I've read recently. Sorry, I had to change it up because it looked like my camera wasn't focusing, so I'm sorry if that was out of focus. But these are 3 books that honestly have been so good recently. Oh my gosh, this one's got, I found something that I've been looking for a while. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll show you that in a second. So firstly, a current read is 4,000 Weeks. I've still not got too far into this one, but it is very good so far. Talking about really making the most of your life and doing what you enjoy, I suppose, knowing that you only have 4,000 weeks. This one, Free Time by Jenny Blake. If you own a business or you're looking to start a business or you just want to change your career or something like that, honestly, was the most refreshing business book that I have read in so long, and it gave me so much confidence going into this year. I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely some I've gone through and I've highlighted parts of the book. I did so much reading, writing, note making on this book. It is a huge recommendation from me if you're looking to change your career or just follow your own passion and maybe build a business from it. And then finally, which is the one that had the stuff in it, a little bit of a different vibe. This one called The Source, which I randomly picked up. It's by Tara Swart. It's kind of about the idea of manifestation, but taking a scientific approach. So the author is a doctor in neuroscience, and she kind of approaches it with evidence-based information, which for me, as someone who studied science, I find very important. And again, I made so many notes about this book. Like you can see that I've made loads of different notes. I actually use this for my prompts for journaling, which I do in the evening most nights. Like I don't do it every single night, but honestly, it is a fantastic book. It's a super easy read. And again, it's just, you leave feeling motivated and just so much better. The stuff that I found in it is actually stuff from the Bahamas that I've been looking for my scrapbook. I didn't put a video on YouTube about it, but at the end of last year, I went on a 3-week trip to the States, and I went to the West Coast, so we did a lot of California, Nevada, and all that sort of stuff. But then we also went to the Bahamas for 10 days, and while we were there, obviously collected little bits and bobs, and I have a toxic trait of collecting beer mats. Exhibit A, Exhibit B. This one's actually from the Bahamas. I just find them like really good little souvenirs to have, and I actually use them as drinks mats. I also just have a few bits and bobs that were given to us, but it's this one that I've been looking for because this is the business card of the taxi driver we had from the airport in Grand Bahama to where we were staying. And he was such a cool, funny guy, and I just wanted to keep it, and I couldn't find where I'd put it, and now I'm really stoked because I've been able to find it, so I can actually put it in my scrapbook. So happy days, there you go. Go through your old books, you'll never know what you find. But anyway, those 3 books are all recent reads, plus a few others, but those ones I definitely would recommend if you're looking for something like that. So yeah, reading is a non-negotiable. Even if I just read 1 chapter, that is enough for me. I just want to get into that habit of reading, and most importantly, not going on my phone. So then I will put my watch on, I will quickly check the weather so I know how to dress for my walk. Walking is a big part of my morning, and people often ask me, like, do you not find it boring? Or how do you create a routine about that? Or why do you do it every single day? And the main thing is I just really enjoy it. I think there's 2 huge things that really help me in terms of having made that a habit and something that I can be really consistent with. The first one is creating some type of reward from doing it. So for me, that is going and getting a coffee. So you'll see that I went to Pret. I have a Pret coffee subscription, and Pret's about a 5-10 minute walk from me, but I can add it into my walk loop. So I will walk there, and I get really excited about the fact that I can go and get a coffee, especially because I'm not drinking coffee at home. And then the second thing, and I think this can be used in so many different areas, is that I don't have to go for a walk. And there's no law for me to do it. I haven't set myself any hard and fast rules. No obligation to go on a walk. So if I woke up one day and I just really didn't want to, that's totally fine. And then when you kind of take those expectations away and it becomes less of a chore, but more of something that you have the option to do, it becomes much easier to keep it in your routine. I'll usually do around an hour's walk, which is about 7 kilometers, and it's just a super slow, chill pace. And for me, it's a really good time to get the creative juices flowing, create an idea of what I want to do for the day. If it's warm, I will write a list on my phone or check my emails. Today, I was keeping my hands inside my gloves. So today it was just a bit of a mental checklist, and then I'm gonna write it down in a second because I am a pen and paper person through and through. But back to what I was saying is that I don't have to do that route. I can take a short route. I could just go and get a coffee and come back. I can really make it work for me. And on days where I do have calls, I will do a shorter route, and I'll make sure that I'm back for 8:30 so I can get ready for the calls and get the day going. So there's that flexibility there. I'm not setting myself any rules. I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't go for a walk, but for the most part, I will go for that long walk and enjoy it and find that consistency is quite easy, just because firstly, I have that reward, and secondly, I don't feel obliged to do it. And it's the same with exercise. I find it so much easier to have a healthy mindset and relationship with it, knowing that I have the choice. Like, I am an adult. I can choose if I want to do any exercise. I can choose if I want to go to the gym, if I want to do something at home, if I want to join a yoga class, if I want to just lie on my couch. There's just no obligation to do anything that you don't want to do. But for the most part, I will push myself to go and do things even on the days where I'm like, oh, I'm a bit tired, because I know that I feel better once I do those things as well. So those things are the pretty consistent parts of my day that don't really ever change. Once I go on my walk, once I get my coffee, I will then allow myself to go on my phone. I'll check my messages, I might jump onto Instagram, but some days I actually just forget and I won't do those things until I get home. And those days I feel like are a really nice feeling. The feeling of forgetting sometimes that social media exists or that you need to check your messages is quite satisfying. And that's one of the reasons why I'm quite strict on not going on my phone and not having it in the bedroom with me. If I have to have it in there because I need to set an alarm or something like that, then I will. But 9.999 times out of 10, I will just leave it in the kitchen. And that was a game changer, as well as turning off notifications on my phone. I literally have no notifications on my phone, and I haven't done now for about a year and a half to maybe even longer, actually 2 years, something like that. And it has helped in so many different ways. Firstly, distraction. Secondly, the amount of time that I spend on my phone. Thirdly, that anxiety you get when you see a notification come up and you feel like you have to check it. It just has so many benefits, and it's bizarre because I kind of forget that I ever had notifications on my phone. And sometimes I'll be going out for a drink or something with a friend and they'll have their phone on the table and I can see these notifications buzzing up constantly and it grabs my attention, and I almost forget that other people have notifications on their phone. Don't get me wrong, it does annoy some people. It's like if my parents need me and I haven't messaged them back, they'll be like, can you not just check your messages a little bit more often? But my justification is that if you desperately need me, just ring me, because I'll get the notification for a phone call. So anyway, that has been a game changer for me, not having my phone on me, reading in the morning. I do sometimes journal if I just feel like I've woken up in a bad headspace and I just kind of want to clear my thoughts or just vent it out or write it out, sit with it, whatever it is. I might write in my journal, but that is not a hard and fast rule and definitely not something that I've ever consistently stuck with. But that being said, like I mentioned, I do a little bit of a wind down in the evening sometimes now. I would say probably half. So half the days I might write in my journal and half the days I won't. And in terms of what I'm writing in my journal, obviously, as I mentioned, a lot of the cues have come from this book here, but usually it will be an overview of the day or the day before and how I handled situations that maybe arose in positive or negative way. I will often write about some actions that I took that day which were positive towards my goals or where I want to be in the future. And then I've also got a double page spread and I just write random words of things that I'm grateful for in my life. So I will always try to add 3. So every time I journal, I will add 3 to that double page spread, and I always try to think of 3 new ones that I haven't written down so far. And then I will usually just finish off that page with some goals for the week ahead or for the next day to focus on, and just to give me a little bit of an idea of where I want to put my energy. And I find that is really useful, and for me it's a bit of a brain dump. So like I say, I kind of reach for my journal on the days where I just feel like I need a bit of headspace, maybe I've not had the best day or I've had a really good day but I want to clear my thoughts. But again, a huge thing for me is just not having these rules about it, like I must journal every single day for 15 minutes. It's just going, I'm just gonna be okay with picking it up when I pick it up. So that leads us to now. It is about 10:30, which is a little bit later than I would usually start work. What I usually do is I do a couple of hours of work and then I will usually go to the gym or do something in the afternoon to have a bit of a break. And then I do the most of my work sort of towards the late afternoon and into the evening. It's just working for me well at the moment, but there is a couple of things that I will do in terms of work when I'm getting started. So the first thing I'm going to do, check my emails. I'm going to check messages from my clients. So my one-to-one clients may have messaged me overnight. I would usually check these on my walk and then respond to them when I get home, but my hands were so cold this morning that I haven't looked. So that's always a nice start to the morning. And then I will write my to-do list, and my to-do list changes on a daily basis. I have been working on compacting it because I used to write to-do lists and they would be so long, like 20 items, and it's just unrealistic. And you're just going to set yourself up for failure. So I usually write 1 or 2 big tasks that I need to do, and then 3 or 4 maybe smaller, more optional tasks. Another tool that's really helped me is forward pacing. Rather than just setting lists going, okay, what do I need to do today? I try to think about myself at the end of the day or at the end of the week and think, what would I have had to have achieved for that to then be a successful week or to be in a good week for work, for me, or whatever it might be. So I will start there and I will work my way backwards. So for example, it might be at the end of this week, if I have filmed, edited, uploaded a YouTube video, I have messaged all my clients, I have done all the programming by Saturday, I have done this, done that, I've planned this, booked that, paid this, then that would have been a successful week. And then I will work back from there and split it up into days or hours or whatever it is. But I do also take quite a flexible approach with it, and I'm quite fortunate that I again have the ability to be quite flexible. So if I wake up and I just want to spend a day on the computer with my head in a screen just focusing on that, then I will do that. So I'm going to go and write my to-do list now, but there's a couple of things that I want to do today. One is that I want to continue filming this video, obviously. The second is that I do want to go and do some exercise, because I didn't do any exercise yesterday. I had a bit of a down day, just a chill one, but I feel like I have the energy and I'm quite excited to train today. So I want to go and do that in a little bit. But before that, I want to make sure I check in on all my clients. I want to respond to a few emails that I have. And then also I'm writing a blog post, which I would really like to make some headway with. I've been really enjoying writing for my Substack, but I'm not great at it yet. So it definitely takes me a little bit longer than I should, but when I do write, I just feel the sense of calm. It's just a totally different way of communicating than making videos. And as much as I love making videos or creating content or having calls with people, sometimes writing is just a really, really nice way of doing it. So I've been really enjoying that, but definitely something I need more practice in, and I'm not that great at. So that definitely takes up a little bit more time than it should. So those are the main goals for today. Thursdays are usually my filming day and a bit more of an admin-y day anyway. Wednesdays and Fridays I do my calls. Weekends are usually filled with hiking and getting out and doing stuff. So Thursdays are very fluid and flexible, which is always nice. And then I will intersperse that with going into town, maybe getting another coffee or so, coming back, just getting some steps in and having a little bit of a break from my laptop. I'm actually going to work at home today just because it's nice and cozy, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and I just don't really feel like going out and being around other people. But for the most part, I actually go and work in cafes. I've mentioned this so many times. Sometimes I'll buddy up with a friend and they'll just sit there with our headphones on and we'll work at the same table. But I just find being in that environment, I concentrate a little bit better. And I suppose once you're sitting there with a coffee and your laptop set up, you can't really just get up and leave your table, because I live in the city centre, I don't want someone to steal my laptop. So you're kind of stuck there and you have to be productive. Whereas at home, I'm like, maybe I could go and make a snack. Maybe I'll just make another cup of tea. Maybe I'll just go and, I don't know, brush Hugo or something. You know, I'm just finding all these things to procrastinate. So I find working in cafes can be very useful for that. But today, I'm going to be at the desk, I'm going to be relaxing at home with my hot water bottle and another fresh cup of tea. That is basically how my morning routine goes. The main part is the walking, the reading, the not going on my phone. Those are the game changers. Everything else, I just work around it and try to take that flexible approach. But I really enjoy it and it works really well for me. And of course, everyone's going to have a totally different morning routine. And sometimes, like tomorrow, for example, this morning routine will not look exactly as it did today. I might not have breakfast. I'm going to be on calls from 9 a.m. So it's just something to bear in mind that, of course, these things look different and it looks different for everybody as well. I'm definitely not getting up at 4 a.m. and doing yoga and doing all those crazy things. No. The further on from 30 I get, the less likely it is that I'm going to do those things, I feel like. Anyway, I'm going to go and actually do my to-do list now, get writing on that and get some work done, just like I said, and get some productivity in, because I am looking forward to today. I'm feeling energetic, I'm feeling excited about the day, and I just want to get cracking. So let's go write the to-do list. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.